I was reminded of that one scene in the first Rocky movie when Mickey talks about Rocky's wasted talent. And Rocky says his job as a second-rate loan shark is a living, and Mickey replies, "It's a waste of life." And I've talked before on the channel about how people can waste their youth getting rich, but I think people can also waste their entire lives just getting by. They get too comfortable, they sacrifice happiness for a stable salary. But the question I have here is, why have decent money in exchange for the time? The time will always be more valuable than the money because we can't get it back. Money can make the world go round, but it cannot make the clock go back. And of course, we all have different definitions of a waste of time. Some may argue that I wasted a lot of my childhood, early teens playing video games, but I disagree. Playing games with the boys is among some of my happiest memories, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But I would agree that playing video games now to procrastinate my goals, for example, making YouTube videos, is kind of a waste. I didn't worry about it when I was a kid. I didn't worry about the future. I was innocent, so my enjoyment of the games was pure. Whereas now, if I'm playing games just to distract myself and I have the thought in the back of my mind saying I'm not being productive, I need to start doing stuff, I need to achieve my goals, it's just something to numb the pain of my mediocrity, and that's just not sustainable. And even when people achieve success, they keep their nose to the grindstone, it seems. They'll build something magnificent, earning money from it, whatever it is, status, but yet they don't enjoy the fruits of their labor. And then you have the people who grind, who are hard-working people, but in the wrong pursuits. They waste their lives working hard in a job that's never going to get them anywhere. I have people in my family who work like that, who have worked 10, 20 years in the same job, are hard-working people, but to no avail. The most they get for the company that they work for is a Christmas card with nothing in it, just signed by the managers. And it just makes you think it's not worth it. I think some of it has to do with the fact that we don't actually believe that we're going to die. Like, we work so hard on these things, on these fruitless endeavors, hoping maybe things will get better or we just get comfortable. But we don't think that we're going to wake up one day and be 40 thinking, I have so many regrets. When we turn 40, we don't think we're going to wake up one day being 80 thinking, my life was just one big regret. We don't think it's going to happen, but it's going to, and it's just this weird dichotomy of we know logically because we've seen it around us, but we don't believe it in ourselves because it's hypocritical because we're worried about the past, worry about the future. We don't spend a lot of time in the present, but yet we act like we're going to stay in the present forever. It's so strange. And we obviously can't know when we're going to die, but I think this is precisely why we need to act like we're going to die soon. Not in a hopeless way, but it's kind of true that life is short and it could be at any point that our time is up. And I'm not saying have an overly exhausted day, a hopeless day full of woe, or try to complete everything, be everything to everyone in just one single day every day, because that's going to completely burn you out. But just at least make sure that when you go to bed, you're pleasantly tired, thinking, today was a fulfilling day. Whatever you did, whether you were working, whether you were spending time with family, whatever your pursuit, there's nothing worse than going to bed each day with the dread of the next day, hoping not to go back into work, hoping not to see particular people. That is your sign to make a change. And sometimes allowing yourself to live begins with stopping. If we don't stop and reflect, if we are always on the move, always trying to get somewhere, life will just pass us by. I think similarly as well, when I was watching the Sylvester Stallone documentary, always linking it back to Rocky, of course, he was saying how life is like you're on a train, and when you're looking out the window, it's just loads of images moving past going one after the other. You know, you're not in one place for one time. It's just, you're looking through the window and it's just images flying by, and you're never going to be in that same place again. And that's exactly what life is. A series of images moving way too fast for us to handle. And we can't stop it, but we can stop ourselves, and we can acknowledge it while we're there. And I think a lot of it with going too fast, it's different to when we were a kid, because when we were kids, everything was new, everything was exciting. The days felt so long, the days were action-packed. But now we're stuck in this monotonous routine day after day. The fruit of fruitful living has truly been lost, because we go to work, we maybe will get 2 days off a week to do what we want to do, to be the people we actually want to be. And then Monday morning rolls around, and it's the same thing all over again, the same cycle, the same Groundhog Day that really wears you down. And we're all waiting for retirement at what, 60, 70 years old? When you're reaching the end of your life, that's when you can start truly doing the things that you want to do. That doesn't add up to me. Because we're all still kids at the end of the day. We all want to explore. We all want to enjoy life. We are all still kids. But we just switch the Capri Sun for a crippling caffeine addiction to function in a job that you hate. And there are some genuinely happy people in their work. But from what I've seen, from what I've heard, people lie to themselves. Because what I actually hear from people, well, I see from people, they may say they enjoy their job, but it doesn't really show, because they're filled with stress. They get angry, they get frustrated. People that I've worked with, people that I know that have a certain job. And I just think, why? Just why? I know it's comfortable, I know it's stable, I know it's scary, I know people have got bills to pay. But if you're not happy, what is the point? What is really the point of it? Because money can buy things that make you happy, but it cannot buy happiness as a concept. It cannot buy the fulfillment. It cannot buy that sense of gratification that you get when you wake up each day and think, yes, another terrific day. Because if we're true about mental health, if we're true about people, a lot of people wish they didn't wake up every day. And that is so heart-wrenching. There's so many people around us that put on a smile, that try to act normal. But inside, they are dying because they don't want to be true to themselves. And I just can't work like that. Like, I have respect for people that work hard. I have respect for people trying to earn a living for their families. But I cannot sacrifice my own sanity for that kind of thing. Especially now when I'm turning 20 years old. I've got no kids. Maybe it'll be different in 10, 20 years when I've got kids, when I've got a family. Maybe I'll truly understand why people do this. Maybe I'll experience it firsthand, having to work 12-hour shifts to provide for my children, my wife. The stress of bills and whatever else, car payments. But right now, it's just so alien to me. I can work it through my head. And as I said, I understand why people do it. But that doesn't mean you should. Just because it works out in a logical sense doesn't mean we should just follow it. We should just accept life as it is. We shouldn't just accept our situation how it is. Think that, oh, we're always going to be broke. We're always going to be unfit. We're always going to be unloved. We're always going to be depressed. Change is possible, man. And I wish more people acknowledge that. For their own sake. For the future's sake. Because I think this world's going down a dark path, man. So many people are giving up. So many people are just giving into a system that doesn't really give out. It does not seem like a good return on investment. Some people are happy with it. But I think some people are just tolerant of it. They don't even tolerate it. They just sort of get on with it. No point complaining like British people do. Well, they complain about it, but they do nothing about it. That's the sort of British values we kind of have, where we can complain about our lives, but we won't take action. But I'm encouraging you to take action, because allowing yourself time to live is the main objective of having a life. Because what's the point? What is the point of living if you don't give yourself time to have that living? If you don't give yourself time to enjoy that life? Hope you've enjoyed this video, bro. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. God bless. And as always, you take very good care of yourself.